want to speak to James Aveji now. He's also boots on ground for us and has been since morning. And James, we've had disturbing reports of assault on journalists. What's happening where you are? And okay, so I understand that we are still trying to get a hold of James Aveji, but it's a terrible day for journalists to be assaulted on a regular day about their jobs. And we talk about press freedom, we talk about freedom of expression. We do not even know who these men are. And I'm disappointed to hear that the police were looking on without doing anything about it. The whole reason why we have about 100 policemen stationed at each polling station is so we can prevent issues like this. And so if this is what we are seeing, remember that the main reason why we are here doing an election rerun in 19 polling stations is because violence marred the collation process for the first time, December 2024. Attempts to recollate didn't work out. And this time now is the same thing. Let's pause here and listen to some sights and listen to sounds and see some sights of what's happening on grounds. With James Aveji, a man on the grounds. We told you earlier that we have our reporters everywhere today in those 19 police stations. Now, James, we've had disturbing reports of journalists being assaulted, some innocent passers-by to being assaulted. What is happening where you are, and is the story different?
Oh, sweetie, it's very different from where I have been so far. I have been to about 5 polling stations so far before making my way to the center of the violence. I just came to meet the violence that's been happening at the Odorkor polling station. For where I have been, I've been to the DVLA polling station at Awoshi. Then I went on to the Lost Pentecostal polling center also at Kwashimang area. I also went to the Sakaman area as well before coming here. There's been calm at those polling stations that I've been to. Voting process have been going on smoothly and peacefully. There's not been any incident of voters not finding their name in the voters register. And so it's been relatively calm at the places I have been to, except for this particular polling station where the youth from both sides of the political parties have engaged in a raw physical exchange at the entrance to the place. Their demand have been that the former MP who made her way here, Hawa Kumsen, should leave the place, which led to the disagreement between the two political parties. But I must also say that both the Interior as well as the Defense Ministers, Honorable Muntaka Mubarak Mohammed, as well as the Defense Minister, Dr. Manif Buama, just left the place, and they have engaged with the police to know what exactly has been happening. After the police have confirmed, have officially briefed them on the situation, they both returned. What I was trying to inquire on from the both of them have been what next for the voting process, because at the time the voting had halted, and they indicate to me that they have had firm assurance from the police to maintain order, and so the voting process would resume. And indeed, it has resumed in the last 10-15 minutes. You see a number of police officers still arriving in this police FPU vehicle, fully draped in their violence control gear in the bus. They've just been brought here and descending, alighted from the bus, and will be taking position. And so from the two ministers in charge of peace and security, both defense and interior, they have confirmed. You see the police officers there making their way to the voting center, fully draped in their violence control gears, making their way there now to make sure that the process continues unabated. So that's the situation here as we speak. More police officers coming in now to take positions. You see them fully armed, fully draped in their riot control gears, making their way to the voting center to maintain law and order. And so the voting process has resumed now, and voters are queuing to vote. So just a quick recap: the violence has been as a result of the NDC supporters demanding that Honorable Hawa Kumsin, who is here, as I understand, was also taking part of the monitoring process. What we know is that the two political parties, aside the party executives as well as the sitting MPs, they have deployed a number of officials to go on monitoring rounds at the various polling stations on behalf of the party. And so it is as part of one of those rounds that the NDC youth encounter Honorable Hawa Kumsi and demanded that she is taken out of the polling center. We didn't sit well with the NPP youth as well, leading to the chaos and the fight between them. But the police as well as the party officials have been able to negotiate with them and bring calm. And so that's what happened here earlier, and bring calm, and they had left and the interior and defense ministers coming also to ascertain the situation. More police deployments have been done now. And so we want to believe that this will be the situation as the voting has resumed. It's just 463, I should say, voters who are expected to cast their ballots here. Not huge numbers compared to the numbers we saw at the other polling stations, where there were 600, over 500 polling registered voters expected to cast their vote. And so calm has been restored now, and the voting process has resumed. The two ministers have left the scene. The leadership of the both political parties that I have identified have also left the scene now, and voting process has resumed now at the Methodist Odorkor voting center. And so the process is continuing now. Police officers taking their positions to secure the place and maintain law and order to continue the process. The number of officers who also draped in their riot control gears, I don't see them holding arm. Actually, they hold the baton they used to control riot. You see them in your shots, they're moving to still take position behind the voting center in order to maintain calm. A number of them, about 8 of them who were here earlier, you see 4 of them holding the riot shield there. And so they're taking their positions behind the voting center in order to maintain law and order. So calm has been restored, voting has resumed. You see there some voters also in queue trying to go through the process and cast their ballot. So that's a situation at the Methodist voting center here in Odorkor. Calm has been restored now, and the process is going on smoothly.
James, thank you for bringing us that accurate reportage. And he reports to us that both the Minister of Interior, Muntaka, and the Defense Minister, Obani Boama, have left the scene. Voting has resumed at the Odorkor Methodist polling station, and a new batch of police officers have arrived, and they seem to be armed, or they're wearing riot gear in order to contain the issues of violence that we are seeing right now. We'll take a break here. When we return, more action on Joy News today, bringing you all the details happening at the Ablekuma North constituency. Please stay.